Republicans are living in another world, and it's a security risk. Check it out. Leave your comments, ding the bell, share it with your friends, and subscribe to our channel. Dave in Federal Way, Washington. So what says our retired intelligence officer, Dave?
Yeah, hey, Tom. You know, I retired in 2010 from the Army, and then I got out of all the Department of Defense intelligence work in 2012. All right, so this is going to be relevant here in a minute. Check this out. I was talking to some coworkers. They were really anti-mask, okay, very pro-Trump, and they were actually anti-vax. Now, that concerned me, right? And I was using the example of bovine viral diarrhea, okay, because we can see that works. And these are livestock. All right, farmers vaccinate them to protect their investment, right? We can see that it works.
So there's this disease that causes diarrhea in cows that's viral, and you can prevent it with a vaccine, and so cows across America are vaccinated. Is that what you're saying? Yeah. I didn't know anything about that. Okay.
Well, but I'll connect all this if you give me a second. Now, this Trump voter criticized me. He said, you're typical liberal. He goes, you don't even know that the COVID-19 is a coronavirus, is a COVID, or is a, SARS-CoV-2. Well, I just started laughing, and he goes, what's so funny? I said, oh, that's just funny. I find that humorous. And here's what's so funny about it, and this is why I was laughing at him. I knew about the SARS-CoV-2 problem, or the SARS problem, all right, in 2010 when I retired from the military. And at the time, it was getting on my nerves, all these intelligence briefings, because at the time, I felt that the senior command at the Pentagon was kind of like in this rut to where they were just going to accept what I considered useless or needless American casualties in Iraq and Afghanistan. You kind of fall into this rut, for lack of a better word, where you're like, okay, somebody was blown up by an IED, somebody's daughter was blown up. Oh, well, next slide. You fall into that rut. And it was getting on my nerves that they were more interested in this SARS virus in China. So that was 2010, Tom. You've got to put things in perspective. I was a mid-grade analyst, okay? There's absolutely no way Donald Trump did not. Any thought to the contrary is ridiculous.
No way Donald Trump did not what? I think you have a call coming in and it blanked you out there for a second.
Oh, I said there's absolutely no way Donald Trump didn't know about this.
Okay. No, we notified Israel in late November that something was going on that had to do with a contagious virus in China, and that if it got into the Middle East, it could be a problem in high-density areas, particularly places like Gaza, which, by the way, still hasn't been vaccinated. Trump had to have known about it at the latest by December, but it had to have been in his national security briefings in late November.
Yeah, well, the problem is, even though I'm incredibly happy that Joe Biden is president, I'm getting I have even more anxiety about the United States of America, because we have this completely toxic. Hey, this weekend I was thinking about the threat Donald Trump poses to America because of the comparisons with Teddy Roosevelt and him. And I remember...
You're talking about toxic masculinity? You dropped a word again there.
Toxic conservatism, which I think includes toxic masculinity, okay? And it's this rejection of anything academic. It's this rejection of anything intellectual. That is not... Conservatism used to not be that way. And this comparison with Donald Trump and Teddy Roosevelt worries me, because my last few years in the military, I noticed a lot of officers would put Roosevelt quotes on papers or at the end of their emails. Sometimes those Roosevelt quotes weren't even Teddy Roosevelt quotes. Like one, right. I was thinking about, Roosevelt said that a vote is like a rifle. Its usefulness depends on who's using it. And I'm like, see, they don't like
Teddy Roosevelt never
Tom,
said that.
Long story short.
Yeah.
Well,
I get that.
And the point is...
And Teddy Roosevelt celebrated intellectual pursuits. I mean, he was a very physical guy, but he was also college educated, and he celebrated intellectual pursuits. And Barry Goldwater and William F. Buckley, the leading conservatives in the 60s, were proud of the fact that they consider themselves intellectuals. But what does this have to do with holding Trump and holding Greg Abbott accountable?
Okay, in conservatism, I think, conservatism right now, Jesus was not really Jesus, Roosevelt was not really Roosevelt, and Donald Trump is not really Donald Trump. All right, I mean, comparing Donald Trump...
So they're living in a false reality.
Yes, and there's no way the Kremlin or Beijing or any adversary or even ally to the United States, there's no way they can exploit that. There's absolutely no way. It's like this huge vulnerability that I don't...
Well, apparently they are. I mean, there's this report over the weekend that you've got Russian trolls now promoting the idea that the vaccines are dangerous.
Yes, and let me relate this back to myself so I don't sound like an elitist, okay?
Okay, you got 30 seconds, Dave.
Okay, I had an article pop up in my news feed about the Chinese army, the PRC's army, using biological techniques to modify human beings into super soldiers. I don't think that's true. I think that's a fiction. I think that message was routed to me because of my habits on the internet. So I am not immune. None of us are immune.